unmute first. There we go. Now everybody can hear me. I was playing with my microphones. I got a new Shure SM7B. Highly recommend it to everybody who's looking to upgrade and spend stupid amounts of money on microphones. But it does. It's a lot more reliable. It's a little bit more versatile than my old shotgun mic. So for those of you wanting pro tips for your setups in your offices, this is a shotgun mic. You can kind of see it. This is a Deity S2. I really like it, and if anybody wants to buy it off me, feel free. Probably should just get rid of it now that I have my SM7B. The SM7B is a cardioid mic or a condenser mic. It's a little bit better at picking up the mids. It sounds a lot more radio quality. So for those of you listening to the podcast, you'll notice the difference these last two podcasts where my voice sounds a little bit richer. And the idea behind having a good microphone when you're meeting virtually with people is that it does build confidence. It's that uncanny valley you're trying to avoid so that when you're presenting on a format like this, you don't want to sound like a very tinny robot. The human ear can pick it up when you're not um, you're not in front of somebody, but you can simulate a radio quality voice with something like a Shure SM7B or a nice condenser mic, and there you'll sound richer and your clients will have more confidence in you, even if they don't understand why. And so that's been my day. I just been playing around with my new gizmos. So in the meantime, today's topic, what I wanted to continue was how to generate revenue with these year-end meetings. And I know a lot of you have missed the last couple of meetings. We've kind of had a smattering of people on sick leave. Some people have been just out of office on vacation on a fall break was last week or 2 weeks ago. Uh, it's all running together for me. And so what I want to do is I want to keep hammering on these year-end activities because this is where you translate yourself into a professional. If you want to stay as a break fix shop, don't worry about the year ends. Just keep going on with projects. But if you want to get out of break fix and you want to get into more of a professional CIO feel, you don't have to tell people you're a CIO. They'll start treating you like one because of the way you present yourself. And so when you come in October with your 2021 plan and rollout, you look like somebody who's got their stuff together, even if you don't. Some of you like feel like you're have that imposter syndrome, and that goes with the email and the series that we had just a few weeks ago. If you don't feel like a CIO, you don't feel like a strategist, but at the end of the day, it comes down to staying with your wheelhouse and what you understand. But you do act like CEOs. Everybody, I'm looking down the list of attendees here. Every one of you I've spoken to, and you have the ability to be a CIO. You're running businesses, you are meeting with clients, and you can help them understand where they need to be. But there are certain things that kind of set you apart. And one of those things that set you apart is having a plan and doing an annual roadmap, not just a, hey, we're going to patch your servers on these days, we're going to replace your laptops on these days, and having rotation plans and those. That isn't strategy at a CIO level. That is a technical strategy. And those are easy to come up with. You just got to look at your hardware life cycle, and then you tell your clients, hey, we replace your switches every 5 years. A strategist comes in on the year and says, you know what, this has been a shit year, people. And let's talk through how we can make 2021 a real slam dunk. Here are the things we learned in technology in 2020. And that's going to be effectively using Zoom, appropriate microphone setups, how to create an at-home work environment that is successful. You guys have a variety of customers that are feeding you information, and you can give your clients a, hey, here's what we know is working, here's what we know is not working. Here's a roadmap that is going to make you successful. Here's a roadmap we can help you with. So if you go into the QBR, strategic QBR we have built, it is built like it is on purpose, because you want to do an executive summary and then you want to do a roadmap of success for 2021. You do that in October, your clients will change how they think of you. Even if you do one annual meeting, you never do a QBR again, you just do this annual meeting, you will change the way your clients see you, and you will land bigger projects because you're going to get permission from them to do things throughout the next year or 2 years. Some people who really have their stuff together can put together a 3-year roadmap. And that's for clients that you have been working with for a long time. And you kind of know what they're going to be like over the next 3 years. But this year, we're entering fourth quarter. And what we know for a fact is that everybody is scared of the year end. There is a lot of shifting going on right now. If you're in the United States, you have an election coming up, and our economy always does fun things during elections years. You also have a lot of businesses that are staring down the barrel at year-end activities. They're going to be closing their books, and either they're going to be so far in the red that they're not going to be able to renew their business loans. The SBA is not going to approve them, or they're going to be looking at, okay, we made it. There was enough stimulus dollars that helped us get along. We're going to be stable. A lot of these hospitality companies that are going to be closing may not affect you directly because maybe you're not in the kiosk business. Maybe you're in the school sector, kind of like me. But that trickles down. That economic hit, it scatters across our funding. So if you have private schools, you're going to see less kids in private schools, and so they'll have less funds. You'll see grants kind of be a little bit shakier because as they push more money towards economic development rather than pushing more towards innovation. So you have to walk into these annual meetings confident with the lessons learned from this previous year in hand, saying, here's what we learned, and here's what we want to do for you to help you succeed where everybody else fails next year. And give them an honest feel about your landscape and put that into the executive summary. And that way, when you pitch that roadmap right afterwards, that you're going to do first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, that your clients feel confident, like, okay, first quarter, we're going to do this. We're going to solidify all those problems we had with remote setups. We're going to really embrace Microsoft Teams first quarter. How are they going to do that? What are the things they don't know about document authoring and co-authoring in Microsoft Teams? What don't they know? How can you help them? Maybe you're a Mac shop and you are struggling with to show people how to do collaborative environments on a Mac. Show them what they're missing and how they can work from home, because that's what we want to do. Is we want to create a roadmap for success. Right now, a lot of you have been making it along great because your operations are successful. You have been able to continue patching, continue to update PCs. All the things that have been on your schedule already are staying on your schedule. Well, 2021 is coming, people. Your contract renewals are coming up. And if you just give them the status quo, they might sign on, they might not. But if you give them a future, then they're going to sign on. And you can also use this as lead gen for new activities. So you can go into other companies and say, hey, you know what? 2021 has been a crap ass year. We have a plan for 2021. Switch over to us and let us help you succeed. So if you're a small agile MSP, let's say you're under 10 users and you run an annual workshop with your clients, you go in there and you say, hey, we're going to pivot a little bit and we're going to focus on Microsoft Teams for 2021. We're going to focus on at-home setups, or we're going to focus on better bandwidth or more stable bandwidth at your company so you can handle all the streaming activity that's going on right now. Whatever it is, customize it to your clients. Use that small agility you have as a 10-man shop and build something that your competitors cannot. Pivot. Change. I shouldn't say pivot. Pivot's a bad word in our world. Evolve your MSP into something that is going to support people and allow them to succeed during the pandemic, during the economic dire straits. Because the large MSPs have a hard time adjusting. They've got a lot of moving parts in place, and so they've got to shift. The smaller MSPs, you guys can adapt today. You guys can have this conversation tomorrow. You can pull up the QBR that I've got for you. The new version should be coming out here in about 2 months. I'm just waiting for Danish to release his new features. And some of those new features are going to focus around exporting projects from MSPL into ConnectWise. And so that it's a much more project oriented environment. So if you guys get your roadmaps going in the QBRs that I'm building for you, if you do use a strategic QBR, when the new version comes out, you're going to be able to like take that and export it directly into ConnectWise as projects. That is what I'm waiting for. And you need to be having this streamlined process going. You need to be walking into clients, getting them to approve these roadmaps so that we can move into 2021 and have record years. I really do foresee record years for technology companies that are forward thinking next year. There is going to be I am hoping finally, I've been praying for this since June, that the federal government is going to start initiating grants through the SBA that support technological innovation. So if a company can afford better technology or can't afford better technology, there'll be a grant available for them. I'm really hoping for that with this next round. We'll see. Nebraska just released its latest round to the hospitality industry, and we're hoping for that to trickle down to a lot of businesses. And then next year, we're hoping for a lot of cash to come in. So you may even want to table some of your projects and say, these projects are contingent upon grant dollars. You can do those things. That's the beauty of an annual process, is that you have your roadmap there, and then there's the, if we have times there, or if we have resources, we'd like to get these done. The contingent projects. Don't forget about those. You can put them down on the list and just mark them as not approved, or you can mark them as approved but not scheduled. Those are some tricks you can do. That way the client is always reminded every time you do a QBR, every time you do a meeting with them, hey, this project's here. If we get this done, if you get those grant dollars, this is a really good way. And this is how I have been handling a lot of school initiatives, is we'll do this project when you get approved from your grant. And usually for me, the reason I'll put those on, like, this is approved, we want to do this new firewall, but we can't until the grant succeeds. So that will pay off for me for maybe 12 months. But in 12 months, those things start rolling in. And it's like, oh, surprise, $30,000 project. And you get those rolling. Grants take a while. The US government grants that hopefully will come out next year, it's a gamble, but you want to be ready for them. And as small shops, you can do that. You can be agile. You can put these things on, and you can be ahead of the game, so that when you do your pre-sales, when you tell your salesperson, like, make sure you tell them that we are work at home friendly. Change your narrative, change your one pager to have some of those words on there, and that we can help you succeed in spite of the pandemic. We as a company, as a technology company, can leverage technology to give you an edge over your competition. These are phrases that you can use to sell. Use the current economic situation to show that you are a technology provider who can help people succeed. That's what they want. They want answers. If you look at schools and the way they're solving problems, they're using technology, but we all know that they're not effectively using technology. You got these teachers in classrooms that are just trying to like wing it. And they don't know that there are things like Stream Decks that can make things so much easier, that they can mute, and they can switch between scenes, and they can add blackboards, and they can add live screens. They don't know because they're not asking. But if you as technology people have to come up in front of them, and I know I usually say be Socratic, but this is a situation where you have to present that there are solutions out there that they do not know about. There are cool ways of doing like what I'm doing here, of doing desktop sharing, of doing a seamless presentation style, or upgrading their microphone setups so that they really, really sound professional and they look better than the competition. With your salespeople in particular in small businesses, a lot of you guys cater to small businesses. Teach them this stuff. Show them that you can get them here. Give them a workshop that they can pay for, where you're going to come in and help them revamp their streaming setup for sales. Come up with these things, but the annual process is when you do that. You can't just walk in on a whim. Right now is when they're primed for thinking about the next 12 months. You come in October with a plan saying, hey, here's what we want to do for you. I know that you are a shop that sells this. I know that if we use Teams and if we can get implemented with a better grade firewall and internet connection, that this is what you're going to be able to do. It's only going to cost you an extra 1,000 a month, whatever the project cost is. Then they go, oh yeah, we need that. We need to be stable. How long is it going to take? 6 months to get this in place? 3 months to get this in place? Well, first quarter, we can have that done. Second quarter, we can spend time training and doing lunch and learns. Third quarter, we can look back and say, what can we improve? Fourth quarter, we'll roll out the plan for 2022. Having that methodology in your head and that framework in your head is the entire reason we built the HIT framework. So you get this rhythm down and you don't miss it and you don't leave cash on the table. So annual activity, use my QBR that we have published in the HIT. Grab it exactly as it is, just use the executive summary and the roadmap. If you can audit them, that's great. If you can get those 3 audits done, that's fantastic. The NIST audit right now is going crazy. People love it. It's a great way to make $2,500 really quickly. You can pitch that right now. You can pitch it before the end of the year. We know that companies have leftover cash because they didn't go to conferences. Maybe they can use that to assess themselves. I don't know. The point is, get the annual meetings in October. We are almost at the end here. Mid-November at the latest. Once you get to Thanksgiving in the United States, all the way to the end of the year, it's a crap fest. It's whether or not you're going to get approval for your projects, nobody knows. But if you get a 2021 roadmap in front of your clients right now, you have a much higher likelihood of getting buy-in. And that's why we keep hammering on it. And next week, I'd like to talk a little bit more about the content. So I'm actually going to hold a webinar here in mid-November about how to hold an annual session. Like, what are the basics? What are the contents? How to do this within 90 minutes. And how to deliver this to a client in a way that they can accept and that they can approach with glee. They're like, oh yeah, that was great. There were free donuts, there was coffee, everybody was excited. You guys had answers for us, and we were able to move forward in a way we never thought before. Remember, this is an economic disturbance. We are seeing a lot of people take risks that they wouldn't have just 6 months ago. People are adopting technologies that they didn't even have on their roadmap 6 months ago. Today, they are open to anything that is continuity based. Bring those into your annual meeting, but let them be in context of your client. If they're in context of your client, they'll buy in. If they don't have the cash, they'll work as hard as they can to find the cash, or maybe you can work on a way to amortize the payments over a longer period of time. Find ways to solve the problems that your clients have today going forward. Give them anything that helps them think through and have confidence in the next year. If the shutdown locally keeps happening, our numbers are ticking up in Nebraska, a lot of panic around, are we going to stay out of office for even longer? Make that easier on them. Show them the technologies that exist today that make it easier. There's a lot of them. And you know them. If you don't know them, spend some time on Google, research your distributed workforce technologies. If you do that, bring them to the annual exercise and bring them into context in October before mid-November, you're going to make money. I promise you. If you walk in with an annual exercise and tell them like, hey, we need to talk through this last year, and come with the 2021 plan so that you can be successful with your technology and with your company. Let's schedule something in the next 2 weeks. How does next Thursday look? Schedule some time, get it in front of them, and you will start making money for 2021. If you guys have any questions, please set up a meeting with me, coaching@virtualc.biz, or take my calendar link that you all have and set up an hour with me, and let's just talk it through. That's what we're doing for you. That's how we're going to help you. Everybody who follows through on these things makes more money. I have a lot of testimonials sitting here in my inbox of people going, oh my gosh, I should have done lessons learned earlier. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I wasn't doing QBRs. Or this is the real way to do QBRs. This is interesting. You guys just need to get time and just start doing it. That's the biggest part, is changing your behavior so that you make more money and so that you have a more successful year in 2021 than you did this year or the year before. Again, send me emails, send me questions. I am here for you. Skip is here for you. Well, when he gets back from break, he's here for you as well. And we will help you accelerate and change and evolve with this growing industry and with this uncertain economy. Until then, I will talk to you later. Check out the podcast on Monday. It's going to be another good one.